One Piece has over 50 games out there, there's no way they're all good. My name's Klopko and these are the top 10 worst One Piece games of all time. Number 10, One Piece Treasure Battle. Treasure Battle can be fun if played under the right conditions, those being a group of casual friends looking for casual fun. Treasure Battle is a minigame collection, and just like every minigame collection, it gets old over time, because while there can be some variety in the different game modes, they're pretty shallow. But I don't know, some people actually think Mario Party is good, so maybe some people will actually like this one. Do make sure you're playing it with friends though, because if you don't, you get paired up with an AI that can be very infuriating. At number 9, One Piece Gear Spirit. This one only came out in Japan for the Nintendo 3DS. It's a 2D fighting game with limited combos, sort of like Smash Bros, but with even less combos. Combat is super repetitive, the roster is decent, so I'll give it some points for that, but with no story mode, you just do battle after battle, which is incredibly repetitive. And number 8, One Piece Treasure Wars. If you own a Wonder Swan, then maybe you'll be able to play this. Don't even know what a Wonder Swan is? Well, I'm not surprised. If you do know what a Wonder Swan is, I still don't know why you'd pick this one up though. This isn't the first time we talked about Mario Party in this video, but I think that's an accurate reference to pull if we want to talk about Treasure Wars, because it's a board game, a party game, but it doesn't have any minigames to go along with it, and only a maximum of 2 players can play it, even though there are 4 characters on the board. Like seriously, everything good you could say about party games, they stripped it out of this one. And number 7, One Piece Chopper's Big Adventure. Hi folks, we're back in Wonder Swan territory, but now it's the next console, the Wonder Swan Color. How would you like to play as Chopper and travel and explore dungeons and fight some monsters because your entire pirate crew has been turned into animals, and now you need to help them get back to their normal state? No? Doesn't sound interesting? Well then this game's not gonna do it for you. Even the gameplay doesn't really save it, it's an RPG that doesn't really have a lot of RPG elements. And number 6, One Piece Become the Pirate King. Here's another game for the original Wonder Swan. This one might be a bit tougher to understand, but basically, you draw random cards which make a path for Luffy's ship. The goal is to reach a certain island before the opponent does. This concept is kind of interesting, but the execution is not, especially when you get to combat and it tries to apply that same idea. It just doesn't fit. And number 5, One Piece Grand Line Dream Adventure Log. Like many One Piece games, this one also only came out in Japan, this time for the Game Boy Color. It's a top-down RPG with a turn-based battle system that just doesn't add anything new to the genre. It's a very bare-bones RPG, it's a bad use of the One Piece license. Plus, the game looks awful, even for Game Boy Color. These sprites just look terrible. Don't believe me? Let's look at number 4, One Piece Birth of Luffy's Dream Pirate Crew. Damn, that's a mouthful. You see what I mean? These sprites look way better, and we're still on the Game Boy Color. Well, a little better, I guess. Let's not get crazy. And this game's on this list pretty much for the same reason as the previous game. It's a very run-of-the-mill RPG with a roster of 5 characters that you can choose to fight as. And you know, you can't really interact much with the world, which knocks this game further down the list for me. Despite it being a better looking game, you just can't do as much. And number 3, One Piece Legend of the Rainbow Island. And what if, instead of playing as this iconic pirate crew, you played as a new original character who we've never met before and joined the Straw Hat Pirates in a new original story? Because we don't have enough filler in the One Piece anime that we also need some filler in our video games. What a great idea. If the filler was any good, I could consider recommending this, but guess what? Not really. And number 2, One Piece Grand Battle Swan Coliseum. Now, I could go on a rant about the Grand Battle games and how I don't like most of them, but since a lot of people actually like them, there's no reason to go there. But if we talk about Swan Coliseum, I doubt even those hardcore fans could defend this. We're back in the Wonder Swan Color, in case you hadn't noticed, with a 2D fighting game that has 6 playable characters. Yeah, 6. With a very simplified combat system, limited number of combos because the console didn't have a lot of buttons. That just makes for one of the worst One Piece games of all time. And seriously, a fighting game with 6 characters? Come on! And at number 1, One Piece Dragon Dream. Alright, to talk about this game, we need to talk about another one first. One Piece Ocean's Dream came out, and it had a filler plot, but the game was half decent. It had a turn-based combat system, which had some interesting mechanics. And then they made a sequel to a filler plot, and that's already kinda crazy, but then they also stripped the turn-based combat in favor of this, one of the worst combat systems ever made in the history of video games. Welcome to the lowest of the low. And those were the 10 worst One Piece games of all time. Now, I know a lot of you hate fighting for One Piece, and you know, I can't really defend that game, but did you actually play any of these games that we talked about today? Do you think any of them are better than fighting for One Piece? You know what? I don't think so, but this is a two-sided conversation. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and this is a two-sided conversation, you know, we gotta look at both sides of the coin, so here are the 10 best One Piece games ever made. If you're in the mood for something else, you can also click right here and subscribe if you're new to the channel. As always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye!